Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to our midweek edition of 5 Minutes with Phil. How are you doing today? I pray that your week is going well so far. And now we're at the midweek, and we're halfway there to Friday, and I pray that you're doing well. I want to remind you today, by the way, before we go any further, of our YouTube channel. We work really hard at trying to provide content on that thing on a regular basis. And if you either subscribe, you can ring the little bell, whatever the case might be, and you will find yourself notified every time we upload 5 Minutes with Phil, every time that we upload a live stream, a video of our music, our services, a sermon, Bible studies, whatever the case might be. If we could be a big blessing to you with our YouTube channel, or somebody that you care about, maybe you spread the word a little bit, that's a huge win for us. So thanks for giving us that opportunity. All right, let's go to 1 John chapter 4. 1 John chapter 4, beginning in verse 16. And all through this whole book of 1 John, John, who is often called the beloved disciple because he seemed to have a special relationship, a close relationship with Jesus when he was on earth. He was the disciple that Jesus loved. And John devotes much of his writings in this chapter on that subject, on love. And chapter 4 is a big one for that. And I want to read just one verse from there. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Starting in verse 16, it says, "And so we know and rely on the love that God has for us. God is love. Whoever lives in love lives in God, and God in them." We know and rely on the love that God has for us. Now, I think that's an important scripture because I think oftentimes we can rely on the wrong things in this department, and that can get us in a lot of trouble. We could rely on how people accept us. We could rely on what people have to say about us. We can rely very much on people's opinion of us, and that can really govern our decisions. That could really govern our thoughts. That could really dictate how we function as a child of God and as a believer in Him. And we're challenged here in this scripture that we know the love of God and we rely totally on the love of God. In other words, no one's opinion should matter more to us than that of God's. And you and I will be tested that way, won't we? We will be tested at times to be almost consumed with what somebody else thinks of us. A coach, a parent, a professor, an employer, employee, a boyfriend or a girlfriend, family member, whatever the case might be, we might just be governed by that. And here's the deal. Relying on the love of God is not being apathetic to other people. That's not what that is. Relying on the love of God is making Him first and foremost in our lives, as far as the one that we're most concerned with appealing to, impressing, getting favor from. We rely on His love. And here's the deal. When that's in place, in a correct and healthy way, when that's in place, depending on what God thinks of me, and depending on the love of God, then all that other stuff falls into place in the correct spots as well. Where we have problems is that when we have the opinions or the concerns of somebody else kind of leapfrogging over what God thinks of us. And that matters more to us than what God thinks. And we almost get into a rut thinking, well, God is the constant here. God is the one that I need to worry about. I don't need to be worried about anybody or anything else. And that, honestly, that will throw the rest of our relationships out of whack totally. And so I want to encourage you today. I want to challenge you today. Know and rely on the love of God. God is love. And if we live in love, we live in God and God lives in us. And that's my encouragement for you today. All right. I pray you have a wonderful day. And I'm asking God to bless you in a big way today. And Lord willing, I hope we'll see you next time. Please know we love you and we care about you. And we'll see you later. Bye-bye.